everyone. Welcome to Off the Charts, episode 162. Before we start off, if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe and tell your friends. Today, I'll be doing an episode of not necessarily my top 10, but 10 special guest vocals on band albums. Now, I'm sure I'll forget some. Chime in the comments if there's some that are worthwhile. The rule is it can't just be a single. Like, for example, when Gene Simmons guest starred on Engelbert Humperdinck's single of something there. I have it on iTunes. Yes, there is such a song with those two together. So it's just one song. This has to be an album by a band. And then on that album, there must be a vocal, and not just background vocals I'm talking about here. Like, you can definitely hear their voice where they're pretty recognizable here. So I will go on, and I'll put 10. This could be a part one. We'll see there if I can find some more after this here. I've been looking through my discography, and I'm like, I just looked at the vinyls mostly in one CD I have there. But if there's some more, chime in. Some notable guest appearances. So I'm going to go with the CD first, because this does not exist on vinyl. At least I don't think so. I don't really check for it there. But so I'm going to go with Ginger Wildheart's solo album. And this one was called Year of the Fan Club. Now, remember, he had before this came out, there was so Ginger Wildheart's pretty much always the one singing, but there's one song, and it's fucking good. It's a song written by him and Courtney Love of Hole, and she sings the whole song. It's called Honor, and it's catchy as fuck, or catchy as hell, I guess. But yeah, I love the song here, and some songs on this list I'm going to like and dislike there. I'm telling you right now. This is one of those songs I love. So when I first saw the single, I'm like, holy shit. And he came out with a single first with him and her playing the song live with, I guess, Ginger Wildheart guest starred on a live show from Hole. And they played the song, and it friggin' was good. And then, of course, he released it on an album. So here we go. Ginger Wildheart on Year of the Fan Club. Second song, Honor, with Courtney Love on guest vocals. Next up, before we do that. Now, this next one, there was many. I could have gone with, well, I'll show you that. I'm talking about Alice Cooper, okay? I could have gone with Be Cruel to Your School with Twisted Sister, but I've already talked about that one. I could have done The Garden by Guns N' Roses, but I don't own any Guns N' Roses, so there you go. So I'm going to go with a little oddball here, and he sings on two songs, or guests on two songs. So I'm going to go with Icon from the album Right Between the Eyes. This was pretty much their last album. And he sings on Two for the Road and Holy Man's War, which is the second song on the album and second song on side A, and Holy Man's War on side B. So I kind of been re-listening to Icon of late, and I had forgotten that Alice was a guest. And like I said, he's done so much guest stars I could go on there. But like I said, I'm just going to give some love to some more obscure bands that I don't talk as much about there. So decent songs, nothing that'll change the world there. It's not one of his another one. What the hell was it called? The Toy Master. Fuck, what the hell is it? It's the singer from Ed Guy, but he's got another band. I forget what the band name is. Anyway, that's another guest appearance by Alice right there. I just thought of that. I own the song. That's about it there. Avantasia? That's it. I think that's it. Anyway, the Toy Master. Anyway, Alice has done a whole bunch here, but I'm going to go with these two today. Two for the Road and Holy Man's War off Icons, Right Between the Eyes. Next up, this, I've talked about it before, but way back. This is the only reason I have this album was because of a duet with Kip Winger. So he guest starred on Fiona's Heart Like a Gun. And I think, yeah, they're on the same record label, which is why this happened. So the song is Everything You Do, and in brackets, You're Sexing Me. I didn't like the song at first. When I first saw the video, because I was a huge Winger fan, well, I've always been, and my friend's like, oh yeah, did you see that he made a duet with Fiona? And I was like, oh, cool, I want to see it. I saw it, I was like it didn't do anything. But I think that the song has aged well, in my opinion anyway, enough that I decided to go and get the album for a first time. Like I didn't have this on CD or cassette. So I went and got Fiona's Heart Like a Gun just because Kip Winger sings Everything You Do, You're Sexing Me, or You're Sexing Me. I thought it was You're Sexing apostrophe me. So there you go. Fiona with Kip Winger. All right. Next one is a re-recording of a classic song by this band. And it's not that it's bad, I just find it pointless. So I'm talking about A Tout le Monde by Megadeth, where he re-recorded it on this album. The original one's on Euthanasia. He re-recorded it on United Abominations with Christina Scabia from Lacuna Coil. Again, it's a good song. It's like a duet between Mustaine and herself. It's just, it's not bad. It's good. It's pretty much the same thing, but they're and nothing against her. She's got a great voice. It just brings nothing to it. I find it just pointless to have recorded it. I mean, maybe as a B-side would have been cool there, but and there was a video for it too. I guess it was a gimmick that didn't really work because everybody pretty much knows the original version off of Euthanasia. Nobody talks about this version. So yeah, Christina Scabia. I'm going to say Scabia. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin, with my pronunciation, you know. So anyway, yeah, A Tout le Monde, re-recording of this. Good, just pointless. Did not change the world. Not that these other songs also changed the world there, but why re-record? If you want to do a duet, just make a new song, I guess. I don't know. So, Megadeth, A Tout le Monde off of United Abominations. Next up, this one's a two guest vocalists. So I'm going to go with John Garcia and Pete Stahl on the song Forest for the Trees from Danko Jones. So it's one of those, the only songs from Danko Jones, like he sings everything, and then they sing the chorus. They're pretty, like, it's a very different vocal change, a good clean vocal. Not that I'm saying Danko just dirty and it's more of a rock, like he sings his ass off usually there. These guys kind of make it sound effortlessly there. So a decent song. I like the song, Forest for the Trees, with John Garcia and Pete Stahl. Who are those two guys? No fucking clue. I guess I could have done some research to see who these guys were, but I was just concentrating on getting the names and the songs and the album and the, you know what? I did enough research that I didn't bother finding out where those two guys are. So anyway, John Garcia and Pete Stahl, no clue where they're from, but great song with Forest for the Trees off Danko Jones' Never Too Loud album. Next one. This was pretty popular in the day, I'm told. Okay, I'm going to show it first there. Max Webster, Universal Juveniles. And this is a whole band guest starring on one song, but there's also, the vocals. So, of course, I'm talking about Rush guest starring on Battle Scar by Max Webster. And what a fucking epic song it is. Now, when I was first getting into, I first started as a Kim Mitchell fan, then got into Max Webster after. And the guy's like, oh, yeah, do you remember this? And he was doing boom, boom, like almost like We Will Rock You there. Now that I think about it there, he's like, Battle Scar. I was like, don't know the song. And then but he's like, oh, yeah, they did a duo with Rush. So my friend, who's like a big Rush fan, Pascal, he's like, well, I'm like, is there a song called Battle Scar with Kim Mitchell, like, or Max Webster? He's like, well, there's a song Scars, but no Battle Scar. Fast forward to a couple years later, I think my friend Pascal heard the song Battle Scar on the radio. And I'm talking, so Scars was on Presto, so that's 89, probably in the early 90s. He was listening to the radio in his car, and he heard the song, and he recognized Geddy Lee singing. So he went and bought a Kim Mitchell Greatest Hits, which had Battle Scar. No, Max Webster Greatest Hits, which had Battle Scar on it. And I heard it. I was like, oh my God, this is fucking good here. So I had never heard the song until probably early 90s. How embarrassing is that? So my friend Pascal got that Greatest Hits. I bought the same Greatest Hits, and I got into Max Webster. And now the whole thing made sense with Battle Scar, and I go boom, boom, ch, boom, boom. Anyway, great song. So the whole band Rush does and you could hear, I mean, maybe not Alex Lifeson as much, but you can definitely hear Geddy Lee and Neil Peart on the drums. Well, Geddy Lee on the bass and vocals. Neil Peart, you'll see this little drum solo, which at first I thought was a little out of place. But man, what a friggin' epic song Battle Scar ended up to be. That was one of the great finds of the 90s, I guess. So Max Webster with Rush, but I'm going to specify the guest vocalist being Geddy Lee of Rush. But like I said, the whole band is on the album. So off of this album, Universal Juveniles, check out Battle Scar with Rush. All right. Next up, you guys all know this song, I'm sure. And, well, I'm going to show you the album. Ozzy Osbourne guest starring on Don't Close My Eyes. I don't even know the fucking title, because I fucking hate the song. I do not like that song at all. Like, a lot of people love that ballad. I can't. Ozzy, I can't. His voice is either... Ballads, I don't find his voice works. I'm sorry. To all the Ozzy, well, I'm not apologizing to all the Ozzy fans. I just don't like the song. I don't find his voice goes good with ballads. There's a few later on in his career that, are actually not bad there, but they're really produced. This one here, yeah, it was a hit, a huge hit. I think it was their Lita Ford's and Ozzy's biggest hit in their careers, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but at one time anyway, it was. So yeah, Close My Eyes Forever, the last song on the album too. I don't like it. Never have, probably never will. But worth mentioning for this album, because for this episode, sorry, because you know what, this is a good album. But that one song, sorry. So there you go, off Lita's self-titled album, Close My Eyes Forever, with guest vocalist Ozzy Osbourne. All right. Not that I'm, you know what, I'm going to save those two for last here. So I'm going to go with, this one's it's not an exception, but it is in a way there. So I'm going to go with guest vocalists, and I'm sure when I mention these two names, and you're going to be like, huh? Who the hell is that? Joe Cirisano and John Rogers. What album did they guest star on? Well, it's Blue Oyster Cult's Imaginos album. Now, I guess you could say this is like a fake, there's my two fingers, fake reunion album. I've talked about this album in my Blue Oyster Cult ranking. It's most of the Blue Oyster Cult members, but there's two songs. It was done by the drummer and he got canned from Blue Oyster Cult, and this was sitting on the shelf, and they decided to record his album. Had to do with a big contract issue, and it was cheaper to make the album than to pay out something. I don't know the whole story there, but anyway. So, and I'm gonna have to read this because these songs, I love this album, by the way. Fucking love this album. But the song titles, I don't know, and you'll see why. So John Cirisano guest stars on this. This is the name of the song, by the way. The Siege and Investiture of Baron von Frankenstein's Castle at Wyceria. Yeah, there's that really pays off in Scrabble if you have that word or sentence, I guess, there. The Siege and Investiture of Baron von Frankenstein's Castle at Wyceria. There's a mouthful right there. Anyway, John Cirisano sings lead vocals on that, and John Rogers sings vocals on Imaginos, the last song on the album. I'm like, oh yeah, lead vocal, additional lead vocal. There you go. Well, I think the song Imaginos is like a combination of Blue Oyster Cult and John Rogers. So the song Imaginos, but the first one that, the fucking long song there is just John Cirisano singing by himself. Well, not by himself, with the whole band too there, but he's got the lead vocal jobs on that song. So there you go, off of Imaginos, Blue Oyster Cult. The Siege of, I'm going to fucking say it. Can I say it by heart? The Siege and Investiture of Baron von Frankenstein's Castle of Wyceria. The Siege and Investiture of Baron von Frankenstein's Castle of Wyceria. Almost had it there. Anyway, that's another one right there. And the last one's sort of a twofer. So Saxon, off their Thunderbolt album, there's a song on here called Predator, where it's a song with Biff sings with guest vocals, Johan Haig, I guess. He's from Amon Amarth. Wow, do I not fucking like that song at all? Like, I love this album, but that one song, Predator, and it's like death, like those types of vocals. I'm like, nope, can't do it. And the song itself is not, like, I wonder if the song would actually be good if it was just normal vocals. But those vocals, those types of vocals, just, I'm sorry for death metal fans out there, or I don't even know, like those kinds of vocals there. I don't know what type of, I just don't fucking find them artistically appealing anyway. And it does nothing to the song. It probably makes it even worse, and is easily my least favorite of this album here. So Johan Haig with Saxon, but not to be outdone, he goes and guest stars on Doro's latest. Well, she's got another album coming out later this year, but this is her latest one. And of course, If I Can't Have You, No One Will. The song was actually fairly decent. And then he goes and sings. I was like, fuck. So I know bands are not out just to please Dan, but bands, if you're actually listening to this or watching this and you're out to please Dan, don't fucking hire Johan Haig as your guest vocalist. It does nothing for me. This song is actually half decent, better than Predator off that one. I don't like that song at all there. But yeah, If I Can't Have You, No One Will with Johan Haig. Doro's got such great vocals, and then you put that guy beside her, and she's like, ugh. I really don't get the appeal of those types of vocals there. So that's me. I like more my vocals melodically with some ounce of talent. I'm sure there's talent involved in those types of vocals there, but nope. Rather, like my friend Yan would say, I'd rather put my balls on a frying barbecue than listen to that guy sing. So anyway, there's my guest. Oh, and you'll be like, you didn't mention any Dio. I did a whole episode on Dio with his guest star appearances on his birthday, or sorry, his birthday is actually today. Now that you think about it, technically when I'm recording this, but his passing anniversary of his passing, I did an episode on Dio and all the guest stars that he did. There was an episode strictly with that. That's why there's no Dio in this episode, because I did an episode just about him doing that. So there you go. That's my episode on Edgewood Cause. You guys heard that? Let's see if I could. Will it pick up? I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, that's my episode on a guest vocalist. If there's some that I've forgotten that I own, like I said, I didn't really check my CD as much. I just remembered that Ginger Wildheart one there, but I was just checking on my vinyl for that one there. I've actually officially have more vinyl than I have CDs, and I'm looking at my CDs right now and I'm like, fuck, that's a lot. Anyway, so there you go. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe, tell your friends, and we shall see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.